Good morning, students. How are you today? Are you ready to learn a new lesson in math? Well, our new lesson in math is called Problem Solving Display Data. It's a very easy lesson if you pay attention. I suggest that you sit with a paper and a pencil to take notes. And here on, whenever you hear us or whenever you come to learn something online, please make sure you come with a book and a pencil to make notes that you can refer to later. Okay, let's begin. Let's find out what are the objectives of our lesson today, learning objectives. We will learn how to solve problems involving data by using the strategy make a graph. So we will be making a graph. Let's begin with problem of the day. Who remembers how to do tally marks? If you remember tally marks, can you show me how to do number 9? I'm sure some of you were able to, not some of you, most of you were able to show it. If you were not able to show it, don't worry. The moment I show you this picture, you will remember how to do a 9. Okay, this is something that we learned in grade 1 and we've also revised this several times in grade 2. So how do you do a number 9? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and when it's a 5, there is a slanting line. The moment you see this, which means it's a 5, 5 plus 4 makes a 9. Excellent. Let's move on to understanding better. So Matthew, there was this boy called Matthew who measured the height of his plant once a week for 4 weeks. We are learning about weeks and months in calendar in social studies. You remember that, right? So in a month, there are 4 weeks. So I think for 1 month, he checked the height of his plant. Describe how the height of the plant changed from May 1 to May 22. This is a part of the question. Even this is provided in the question. So on the 1st of May, the plant was 2 inches. On the 8th of May, it grew to 3 inches. On the 15th, it grew to 5 inches. And by the 22nd of May, the plant was 7 inches tall. Now have a look at this graph. What does Miss always tell you? The first thing that you should do is find out what is the heading or what title can you give for your graph. So please tell me, children, if this is the question and you have to give a title, what will be the title for this graph? What did Matthew do? He was measuring the height of the plant. So it has to have something that will summarize this graph. So we will name it height of Matthew's plant. Very good. Now you see a blue line here and you also see a blue line here, correct? So we have to give a small heading to these things and to these numbers. May 1, May 8, May 15, May 22. What do you think this is? Which category will it fall under? It is the date. Very good. And finally, if these are numbers, as you can see. But what do you think these numbers are talking about? This is talking about the growth of the plant, the gradual growth of the plant. In centimeters or inches? In inches. So this is height in inches. Is this clear to all of you children? Very good. Now let's move on and find out how we can make the graph look, how we can make sense to the graph. So first, how many inches was the plant on May 1? As you can see here, on the 1st of May, it was 2 inches. Very good. So here, you can see on May 1, we moved or we shaded number 1 and number 2. Obviously, what will you do for May 8th? Will you shade till here? No, don't shade randomly. The moment you see May 8 here, you go and check your key. What does your key say? May 8, 3 inches, which means on the 8th of May, your plant grew by 1 inch, 1 extra inch, because on May 2, it was 2 inches, or sorry, on May 1, it was 2 inches, and on May 8th, it became 3 inches. Have a look. Next, how many inches did it grow to on May 8th? It grew to 3 inches. Then what happened? Then how can you show 5 inches on May 15? 5 inches on May 15. Very simple. You just shade it all the way till number 5. And finally, how tall was the plant on May 22? This is the last day that he checked. It was 7 inches. Very good. Did you notice something? That along with math, we tried to tease your brain a little bit and make you sharper by teaching you sequencing, which is learnt in English. First, Matthew's plant was 2 inches on May 1. Next, it grew to 3 inches on May 8th. Then, on the 15th of May, it grew to 5 inches, and finally, or last, it was 7 inches on May 22. First, next, then, and last. This is part of sequencing that we learn in English language. Okay, now tell me something. What do you think happened to Matthew's plant? Did it grow taller or shorter? Very good. Did the height of the plant grow taller or shorter? It grew taller. Very good. Now, I want you to remember one very important thing, that is, in addition to what we learned in the graph, you will always have to write whether the object became taller or shorter. For example, a plant will become taller. Height of a person will become taller. But let's say you are measuring a pencil for 1 month. As you sharpen the pencil, the size of the pencil becomes shorter. Now, please remember this. When it's taller, it is increased. Okay, the height of the plant grew taller, or it increased from May 1 to May 22. If it had become shorter, you would say it decreased. Okay, so if you have your book and your pencil, please write this word down. Increased means it grew taller or bigger. Decreased. How is decrease spelled? D-E-C-R-E-A-S-E-D. If it decreases, then it becomes shorter. Very good. Now, finally, let me ask you this question. How does making a bar graph help when solving problems about data? As you can see, just looking at the graph, you can tell what the graph was all about. What was Matthew up to? So whenever you make a bar graph, you can compare the bars to see how the data changes. So in this lesson, children, we learned how to solve problems involving data by using the strategy, make a graph. If you have any questions, please, I humbly request you to write me a message and ask me. No question will be called a silly question. You have every right to question and you have every right to learn. I hope this lesson was clear to you. Please look after yourself and please make sure you're making time to study. Good luck, because at the end of the week, you will have a quiz for this lesson. All the best. Take care. Bye-bye.